Welcome to Totally Tubular Tourism solution for the TechPoint S.O.S challenge. The coronavirus has made a tremendous impact on every industry, but one industry particularly struggling is the tourism industry. Events from academic conferences to trade shows have been canceled, leaving large convention centers and ballrooms to suffer financially. Now that the economy is reopening, questions remain. How can large conferences and events be made safe again? In our research, we found that there are 5 key drivers that the tourism industry is facing in the wake of the pandemic. First, personal concern for safety varies widely from individual to individual. You could have one attendee to a conference who's very concerned about his safety and who wears a mask at all times and who stays 6 feet apart, while there is another attendee who's very unconcerned and doesn't mind being close to anyone. Second, there are many governing bodies that put out varying regulations that the tourism industry has to comply with. These businesses also need to adjust their capacity based on which stage Indiana is in, and this changes frequently, resulting in confusion and extra work on the part of these businesses. Next, many customers are concerned with privacy violations related to contact tracing, and these potential civil liberties violations need to be addressed. Finally, there's concern that limiting capacity will result in revenue loss and potentially even financial insolvency. Each of our target customers have different concerns about how their business should move forward. Convention centers, which rely on large crowds, are worried about financial losses due to government restrictions on attendance. Additionally, they fear unearned bad press. Hotels are primarily concerned with the multitude of travelers they assist every day and the potential risk that these travelers pose to one another. Finally, the restaurant business is notoriously volatile. One day a business could have 500 customers, the next day 20. They're concerned with fielding the varying numbers of customers during these difficult times. All 3 target customers have unique concerns which can seem unconnected. For this demo, our target customer is the Indiana Convention Center, and we'll be focusing mainly on convention centers throughout this presentation.
So as you can see here on this slide, the impact on the tourism industry due to COVID is pretty big. In the world of COVID-19, social distancing, cleanliness, and safety are the number 1 priorities when people leave their homes. And that means that most consumers and customers, they avoid going to events like big conventions, going on vacations, or even eating at restaurants. Even after businesses are allowed to reopen and convention centers are allowed to host small events again, they're still struggling to find a way to meet the new safety guidelines while keeping the business afloat. But what if there was a way for people to know that they are safe at big events or places with lots of people? A way for people to know that the health safety guidelines according to CDC are being followed. Today I want to introduce you to our app EventAndPrevent. In the calculator section, the event hoster would enter the following: the current unit, whether that is feet, meters, or inches, the room name of the event space that they are hosting the event in, and the width and length of the room, and the minimum distance between each person required by CDC guidelines. The maximum capacity would then be displayed and shown on the page. Then they would go into the rooms page, which a list of the rooms that they entered would be displayed. According to how many people are in the room currently, the current capacity would be updated, as well as the length and width of the room. The colors are also updated depending on how close it is to the maximum capacity. Currently, we have set it to green if the current capacity is less than 75% of the maximum capacity, yellow if the current capacity is between 75 to 90% of the maximum capacity, and red if it is over 90% or to the maximum of the maximum capacity. This helps attendees see whether or not they are in a room that is to the max capacity or not, or if they need to switch rooms, and also alerts the event hosters that they may not be following CDC guidelines in specific areas. In the account page, they will have a personal QR code that each attendee would receive on their app or phone, and they would use this to scan into each room when they enter or leave. This would help calculate the current capacity for each of the rooms listed. On the map page, there will be a list of maps, and what happens is, similar to the rooms page, the rooms on the map will be updated in color so that people can see where they are on the map and will be able to plan ahead of which rooms they are going to attend next. The main purpose of EventAndPrevent is to assist in reopening safely, increasing the number of customers attending these events, aiding customer and attendee decision-making, and providing health risk and setup information in an easily accessible way. For the front end, we decided to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and React Bootstrap to build our front-end user interface. This is because most of us already knew how to use these technologies, and they were fairly simple to help build our user interface powerfully and the components needed to make our application. For the backend and database portion, we decided to use Java, as most of us already knew this programming language from classwork, and we decided to use Spring Boot and Maven, as well as SQL and Heroku and Postgres to launch and deploy our application.
This is our demo. Our app is hosted on Heroku. For us, then we just hit Open App, but for most people, you go to conferencecalculator.herokuapp.com, and it will automatically pull you to this sign-in page. We have just like a basic authorization system. Right now, if you type in anything for the username and then the password is PASS, then you get access to the website and you have editing rights. So you're like on the conference center side. So this is what the website looks like at the beginning. This is our homepage. We've got just a general picture of the Indiana Convention Center, since that is our main target for this demo. We've got a carousel just kind of explaining what the different pages are down at the bottom. If you go to the calculator, this is one of our main functions. We have where you enter the rooms, and if you want to do it by either feet, inches, or meters, you got to click that first. So let's say I'm doing a room of meters. So let's say room E, 30 meters by 30 meters with a 6 meter, everyone has to stay 6 meters apart. So then that gives you a maximum capacity of 25 people in that room. So you add that to the layout and go to the rooms. All of the rooms are saved in our database. This is the room we just added. So now you can see that you can have 25 people and it's a 30 meter by 30 meter room. Because you have editing privileges, I could just delete this right now and it deletes it from the database. One feature that we do have is that it does current capacity tracking. So you can see that this room is red, and that is because it is over 90% capacity. Same with this one's yellow. It is over 75% capacity. And I can show you this actually changing. So I can do this. This is just a random user that's in our database. This is the specific room ID for room A. And so let's say that right now, one person enters. And as you can see, it turns yellow because now 9 out of 11 is over 75%. If one more person enters, then it turns red because it is over 90%. And it does that for all of them. For real, this would be used with like RFID chips or people like scanning a QR code when they enter a room or exit a room. And it would be tracked like this. Speaking of QR codes, on the account page, we've got the room check-in and check-out for event participants. And then we also have a map that is not created yet, but it is coming soon. So this is the map page. The goal of this page is all of those rooms that you saw on the other page would show up here in their actual locations, and then they would still change colors, just like the other ones. As always, this demo is based off of the Indiana Convention Center, so that's why we have this for the example. So these are some of our future features that we are looking at. So one of the first things that we want to do is add an interactive map. So those current capacities, which change the colors of the room, we want to add that to where the rooms are actually in their locations, and they still change colors so people can see where they are and know which rooms have a higher capacity. We want to have like user logins for the guests and business owners. So based on if you're a guest or a business owner, then you have different functionalities. You know, you don't want guests deleting rooms and adding rooms. And then upgrade the code to be a little bit more mobile friendly. Right now it's like the nav bar stacks and stuff like that, but just to upgrade it so it looks nice on a phone for the guests. And then like allowing for connections between different businesses. So that map would be like a map of a city. And you can see, if you're at a convention, you can see different restaurants around who have a lower capacity. And so all the businesses would be able to gain more business by those who are at events, and so they can see that their business is safe at that moment.
The most important resource to complete and sell Event and Prevent is human capital. We need innovative employees capable of responding to customer needs effectively and uniquely. Additionally, RFID chips for our badge scanning technology will be needed, as well as servers to keep our app running. We believe that by partnering with various governmental organizations, such as the Indiana Department of Health, we'll be better able to respond to local health and safety regulations. Finally, it's important for Event and Prevent to always keep in mind that our different customer bases have unique concerns and characteristics that will need to be addressed individually rather than collectively. There are multiple avenues for a business to create revenue. The first and simplest is that customers can pay upfront for the app. We would have a monthly subscription for our companies to purchase, while individuals could purchase the app at a smaller fee to view the capacity of their favorite restaurants. Event and Prevent could also utilize partnerships with other health and safety products to create a COVID safety package that convention centers could purchase for their events. Another option for revenue is targeting. Businesses could pay for the data of who visited which rooms at a conference and then use that data to advertise to those people or add them to an email list.
Why Event and Prevent? It's because this app will help businesses meet their safety needs while also meeting their own needs in this time. Businesses have been closed down for so long that they need to get back on their feet and they need to be able to reopen again. And this app will let them show customers that they are serious about keeping them safe and keeping their families safe by making sure that no room gets too full and by making sure that they have the space they need to social distance. It also allows the business to make sure that everything gets cleaned if a room has a high foot traffic. This is a perfect way for businesses to get back on their feet while also making sure that they maintain the health and safety of their customers. And we believe that our app will revolutionize how the large conferences of tomorrow meet. And we hope that you'll join us in this journey. Thank you.